deal on an everyday basis, at the end of the day, all we need is some peace and rest. And especially since these days our social life is greatly reduced and we tend to spend almost the whole day inside our house. So, to what extent do you think the role of a supportive and a peaceful family environment plays in your health, career, and mental well being?
Been staying with my family, for about now 1.5 year now since the pandemic hit us when I came back from my internship in the middle of the pandemic. And I have seen tremendous growth, at least in the career prospects and in my professional life ever since I've been working from home. Because I think the work from home culture has given individuals that space to be able to indulge in activities and do things for themselves apart from what their full time job curtails them to do or puts them in a box to do. And that has helped them become more creative. And obviously, because the families have been so supportive, and probably some people could just move around a little and meet their near and dear ones, which they wouldn't have been able to because they would be placed or employed in different work locations. But because of being at home, I think we've been closer to our near and dear ones, and they are at the end your driving forces. They keep you motivated, they support you. And I think that is why a lot of people, even though we've been in such difficult times, have been able to flourish. As an individual, I think the past 1.5 year has been the best year for me, at least in terms of my professional and career life, touch wood. Um, yes, but mentally there have been times that has taken a toll because still I was not able to go out at all. I haven't been, out and about or done anything. So again, it could be, it has got its own pros and cons as well. A lot of people suffered with depression, anxiety, not being able to meet their friends, etc. Some people got stuck during the pandemic, couldn't meet their family members as well. So I think it's very perceptual, right? But I think overall, yes, I feel that in most of the cases, I'm sure that being with your family members would have accelerated their career growth and would have just helped them get better at what they're doing.
Yes, there's no doubt that family is the backbone of any individual. But we also need to create other supportive networks, right? But especially these times, especially in this particular age, all people, friendships, everything is so temporary, right? So, any tips on how to build a effective, solid support system?
I think you can have a number of friends, you can have a huge gang of friends, or you can have just two friends. At the end of the day, it has to be people who will not leave you in your journey. And I do understand people will say that, people have a certain role, they'll come, they'll play it, and they'll leave. But that's where family comes in, right? Family in general does not have a choice to leave you even if they want to at a point of time, no matter what happens. No matter how your nature is, or no matter what circumstances come into picture, you can expect a friend to leave you. You can expect someone who is close to you to leave you, or someone with whom you're in an intimate relationship to leave you. But family members stick by you. So I think when you talk about building a strong support system, I think again in terms of friends also, it should be people who are driven, who are happy seeing you grow, who understand your characteristics and your personality, so that they understand your reactions to certain situations, because things will not always be rosy, and someday or the other you will react in certain ways, but they have to be adaptable and acceptable to how you are, and then those people stick around. A network outside also on social media or through friends is great, but then you have to make a very right choice, because the people you surround yourself with really influences your thinking process and what you become.
Moving on, I have seen you speak at a lot of places and promote the importance of side hustle. So, could you please elaborate to us what is a side hustle and any tips or examples on how to cultivate one?
Side hustle is anything that you do for yourself that brings you a lot of joy, and something that you work on via inner motivation. No one has to push you or drive you to do that. You feel comforted, it makes you go to bed with super satisfaction at the end of every day, and you're being able to create an impact. It could be your own blog, it could be your own YouTube channel, it could be your own initiative. Like I've started Dhairya Decodes, it could be content creation, it could be interviewing people, that could be a side hustle. Your side hustle could be freelancing, it can be anything, whatever you do, but it should bring you joy, and it should be something you do other than what a full-time gig or a full-time job opportunity demands you to do. So being a software development engineer but having a YouTube channel on the side is a side hustle. I'm an SAP analyst, I work with the big four. At the same time, I have an initiative of Dhairya Decodes, where I take sessions, where I take workshops, and I create content and give interviews. That's my side hustle, because creating an impact, mentoring people is what gives me a kick. is what makes me happy. So anything which makes you happy and which you can do relentlessly and given the extra hours to it apart from what you do full time is a side hustle.
So, though we do thousand things in a day, there's always that one thing which adds like purpose and meaning to our existence. So, what is that one thing out of the manifold of things that you shine at which adds more purpose and which brings a lot of satisfaction to you?
I don't think I have to think twice before answering that question. The one venture which I cherish the most is obviously Dhairya Decodes, and that is that one thing which brings me a lot of joy, a lot of satisfaction, because obviously because of the impact that I am able to create in someone else's life. At the same time, because of the kind of awareness that I'm able to bring, I'm able to speak at tier 1, tier 2 colleges, at the top colleges like IITs and even MBA colleges, and able to help them in their journey, and able to help them land jobs, get internships, or get their resume shortlisted. So that joy brings a lot of peace, and I think that has been the most, I would say, impactful thing that I've been able to do in my life, and that's why that venture will always, and this is something which I would want to scale, and it will always be a part of my life. At some scale or the other, I would continue doing it. I don't know where it would go, but yes, undoubtedly, this is that one thing which I'm the most proud of, and also of the team of Dhairya Decodes that I've been able to build and how they really support me. It's not a one-man show, obviously, or a one-woman show that you see. I am the one who's enabling the sessions or doing things in the public eye, but it's obviously my team who helps me with the operations, with the graphics which go on the page, with everything else, the ideation, marketing strategies. So I think I've been lucky in terms of finding a great bunch of supportive team members, and I'm hoping to create a larger impact in the.
Best wishes for all the things that you're going to achieve through Terra Decors. So, we've spoken a lot about work, life, and hustle. But in order to run faster and longer, we need refreshments from time to time. So, tell us about your hobbies, your self care routine, and the things that you do to refresh yourself.
So I'll be very honest, I don't get a lot of time to probably refresh or take a lot of time out, the me time, which is actually necessary. I'm trying to make a conscious effort to be able to do that. But how I try to rejuvenate or refresh myself is mostly by listening to music. I love listening to music, again, depending on the kind of mood I am in. I've always loved dancing also, although I'm not able to do a lot of it because of the working hours and meetings. But whenever I'm in the mood, I'll just lock my room up and I'll have some music playing in the background, and I'll just dance a bit. I think other than that, I love watching certain Netflix series also from time to time, and I watch a couple of movies. And I think other than that, I talk to a lot of my friends, not very occasionally, but whenever I find the time, I try to catch up with them, and that kind of is a great refreshment because we catch up on how life has been, what we've been doing, what we're up to, because everyone is doing different things. I've got friends who are doing MBAs, I've got friends who have done their gate and now they're getting jobs. I have friends who are in jobs, I have friends who are in jobs and are preparing for their future masters, and we are all in different phases of our life. So when I talk about different things, it keeps me updated, also keeps me refreshed. We share our journeys and what we are doing. So I think these are a few things you'll find me doing in terms of refreshment.
Come to the core of today's topic, does life really end at 25? I'm sure that experience is the best teacher and you have ample amount of them. So from contemplating your experiences, can you tell us how crucial is early 20s for any individual in terms of career and personal growth, and what is something that is worth remembering whenever we feel lost and bewildered during this phase of our lives?
I think in your early 20s, in terms of your career, personal growth, professional growth, relationships, everything, two things that you should keep in mind is that always choose the right people. Don't get influenced by what the herd or what the masses are doing ever. In terms of career choices or even in terms of personal choices that you make in terms of your relationships or the kind of friends you should make. Just because 100 people are doing something or being with a certain type of people doesn't mean you have to do that. Stick to your individuality and stick to what your gut says. I think it will always guide you in the right direction. Surround yourself with motivated people, driven people. They don't have to have goals of becoming a billionaire, but they have to have some drive or vision in life. You cannot hang out with aimless people and hope to do something in life someday. It's as blunt as it is out there. Second thing I would say is you have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, there's nobody else who can believe in you. I think a lot of people ask me, how are you so confident in your own skin or in the way, just that the way you are? in all aspects, probably the way you look, the way you sit, the way you stand, the way you speak, everything. A lot of people are like, how do you get that confidence? I think I get that confidence because I've never attached my confidence to my grades, to the way I look, or to any phase of my life. You will find me in any state, even in the night, sitting in a bun, I'll be that confident, or in front of a camera right now where I've brushed my hair and I'm in a certain way to be, sitting for an interview. My confidence does not stem from the fact of what external people validate or how I look or what I have to present to the world. It's just that inner confidence is there based on my skills and capabilities and the person I am and what I bring to the table.
So now let's talk about dreams. So what do you think is your way forward? Because I believe there is no concept of job for life anymore. It's all become like jobs for season. Because few years ago, nobody thought that being a content creator, a social media influencer, a blogger can be a full-time career. But today, all that is possible. And again, the longevity of it is highly debatable. So, could you please tell us that will you be doing the same thing that you're doing today, even at your 30s?
Having a full-fledged career as a YouTuber, as a fashion vlogger, as a blogger, or as someone who is reviewing food, or someone who's into wine tasting, all of this did not even exist 1.5 year ago when the pandemic started. Or even if it existed, people didn't talk about it as full-time careers. But thanks to the digital era, thanks to the technology, thanks to the adaptability and agility of individuals and their families, we've been able to accept it slowly and steadily. I feel that what you're doing today is just experimentation, right? In your 20s or even in your 30s, you're just trying to explore your skill set, your capabilities, you're pushing limits and trying to find out what is it that I'm capable to do. What I am doing today as an SAP analyst does not put me into a box of doing it even 10 years from today. We're not in a world where, like our parents, you start a job, you stick to it for the next 10-15 years, and then you retire with that same job. People switch jobs, people switch careers, people become entrepreneurs after quitting their jobs, people start their side hustles while doing their jobs. And these concepts have become very normal now. This has become the gig economy, right? 2021, as we call it, is the gig economy, where people will be employed or will be called out to do tasks based on their skill set, and they could be like momentary or temporary tasks, but that's how people would be employed, on a task to task basis based on your skills. And that's how I think the longevity of things is going to be, and that's where we are going. Career transitioning has become so normal now. I could be in the business analytics field today, and tomorrow if I want to get into, let's say, data analytics, I can do it, and it's very much possible as long as I put the efforts in it and I'm able to build a profile as such. So I think today nothing is restricted. What you're doing today does not mean that it sets you out for doing that for the next 10 years or 15 years. Keep experimenting, keep exploring, and just try to find out your true calling. Your 20s can be spent in doing that, or even your early 30s, and then you can probably get a fair idea of these are the one or two major things that I want to do, and this is what I'm probably just meant to do, and that's my true calling. Some people can find it early on as well, and it's great if you find it early on.
So now coming to our last and final question. I'm sure all of us have got accustomed to the pandemic way of living, but sometimes the memories and the things of the past, take us back to those mask-free days. So, and then suddenly these what-if questions start to, pop out. So, do you have such thoughts? Don't they scare you? And how do you deal with them?
Memories are obviously a beautiful thing to have. You will always look back on your past or on things which you cherished, and more so over in the pandemic, because we didn't get to meet people, we didn't get to have that human touch, we didn't get to interact with people, and we were just stuck in our homes, right? So yes, there are a lot of times where I will think back on let's say the old good days where we could interact with our friends, or where we could meet our near and dear ones, and when life was a little more social, just in simple terms. But again, I feel it's just about acceptance, right? We can always dwell on the memories and on the good times, etc. But you have to live in the moment. You have to live in what is right now, and not what was or what could have been. What is what you have to live in all aspects of life. And I think that is something that I've learned, again, a very hard way. There are days, obviously, like you said, what ifs. There are a lot of what ifs. I think every other day there are what if questions which come to my mind, that what if everything opens up, and how would be able to manage both the things, or what if this continues for a long while, will I be able to hold on to my mental sanity, or what if we could go back in time and change certain things, or what if this and that. There are so many what if questions which come to my mind, but I think again, just accepting, that sense only comes with experiences, and probably, at some point or the other, going through certain incidents over and over again, and realizing that you cannot change your situation and you cannot change your circumstances. You can only work towards making your future better. So I don't reminisce a lot on the past. At least I try to consciously not to. It's not like I've just stopped it. You cannot do it. But I remind myself of how far I've come and what I want to achieve in life, and what will enable me to reach there, and what is going to stop me from reaching there. And then I think I just gather my thoughts, pick myself up, and put a smile on my face, even though I would be probably breaking on the inside and not be very happy. But you have to show up. And I think now my job demands that even the more. There are days where I'm not at all in the mood to give an interview or record a video or talk to people for a collaboration, or where, because I'm in the public, I have to turn on my video most of the times or show them that I'm always happy go lucky. And I only know what's going on inside. But I think you just have to learn things, and I think this job of a content creator has taught me that very beautifully.
So before you leave, Dhairya, could you please share your experience on being with Happy Ones with Harini?
To just tell you that thank you so much for having me on your talk show. I love the entire experience. It was seamless of coordinating everything. Thank you so much for literally asking me such beautiful and amazing questions. I think there were a lot of questions which I have never answered till date on a lot of platforms, and trust me when I say this, people are going to get a lot of tea from this talk show if they really watch it, because a lot of things were only known to very very few and restricted people who are very close to me. But I think I've spilled some tea here, so I hope that the experience helps a lot of people. And thank you so much for having me over. Keep doing a great job. You're doing some amazing work on your channel, and I hope that you keep growing by the day. Thank you so much for having me again, Harini.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you have any questions to ask Dhairya, you can freely do so in the comment section, and I'm sure you will get beautiful answers to them as well. And also, if you also want to share any of your personal experiences or comments about all the thoughts that we discussed in today's chat show, you can also do that in the comment section. I'm hoping to read many comments and thoughts from all of you. So before I leave, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm sure I'll come back with more happy and useful content. Until then, take care, bye-bye, and don't forget to subscribe to My Name is Happy and hit the bell icon to receive instant updates about my upcoming videos. Thank you so much.